You probably heard the headlines last week and over the weekend about the NAR settlement that has been proposed to the DOJ. So, I've talked in previous videos about the lawsuits that have been occurring from sellers suing individual brokerages, MLSs, and the NAR, talking about commission collusion and different things. Last Friday, the NAR announced a proposed settlement to end these lawsuits. And there was some misconstruing from the media about what exactly the settlement said. I've seen headlines that said 6% commissions, no more. Sellers are no longer going to have to pay their buyer's agents and similar things. And it's clickbait, it's sensationalism, because if you actually read the NAR settlement proposal, commissions have always been negotiable. We have never said this is the standard commission. And I've had clients who have called me, whether we're listing a lot or listing a house, and they're like, so what's the standard commission around there? And I tell them, there is no such thing as a standard commission. Commission rates are negotiable. I tell them what my typical fee is. And I said, you're welcome to call any other agent or multiple agents if you want to find out what their fees are. So that is kind of a thorn in my side, that they're trying to act like we all colluded together and said, okay, 6% is what we're charging. Because that's not been the normal for a long time. Some agents charge a lot less. Some agents will even charge more. Saying 6% commissions are gone is kind of a misnomer, because 6% commissions were never a industry standard anyway. The thing that I'm not understanding, and we've not gotten any kind of guidance from NAR yet, is if this settlement gets approved by the DOJ, which is expected to, towards summertime, around in July sometime, we're no longer supposed to list buyer agent commissions in our MLSs, which kind of takes away a transparency, I think, that's been there, so that agents know. That's always been the purpose of the MLS, is to offer a cooperating commission to the buyer's agent. If you put something in the MLS, you had to be willing to compensate a buyer's agent. I don't understand how buyer's agents are going to get paid if we are not splitting commissions with them like we've always done. Here in East Tennessee, we do have a lot of first-time home buyers. We have a lot of people who don't have 20 or 30% to put down on a house. And so if you're looking at someone who's trying to do a rural development loan, an FHA loan, or even a VA loan, right now those government programs are not going to allow a buyer to pay their own agent's commission. It's not going to be allowed. Now, if they are going conventional through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, if they're doing a 90% loan to value, then it can be thrown in under the seller assist. They could get a 6% seller assist if they're doing 10% down or more. I'm just not understanding how all this is supposed to work. So I'm looking forward to hearing from NAR and from other brokers and experts across the country on how we anticipate buyers' agents to get paid. Affordability in housing is actually at an all-time low because home prices have went up, interest rates have went up, so people are already having a hard time qualifying to purchase a home. How are they going to be able to qualify when now they're not going to be having just a down payment and or closing cost, but they're going to have to try and figure out how to get that buyer's agent paid as well. So people say, well, they can just use the seller's agent. They'll just go through the listing agent. Well, the problem with that is the listing agent represents the seller. We have a fiduciary responsibility to that seller to negotiate the best terms for them. So as a buyer, if they come to me because I have 123 Banana Street listed, I'm not representing that buyer. I'm representing the seller. Tennessee does not allow dual agency. So in order for me to be fair between the seller and the buyer, I would have to drop to a transaction broker or a facilitator, meaning I don't really represent either side. I'm just kind of a go-between. I'm not offering my advice. to either party. And that's not really fair to the seller who has sought me out, interviewed other agents, and decided to hire me. And I've told them up front, I am your designated agent. I'm looking out for you and your best interest. How fair is it to that seller for me to come back and say, oh, well, the buyer wants to use me to write the offer, so just don't tell me anything you don't want me to share? It's not. So it's not a good predicament for buyers or sellers right now until we get some guidance on how this is going to look in the future. So just remember, when you're hearing these headlines and you're watching these news stories, it's not the entire truth. If you want to know the truth about what's going on with the settlement, be sure to reach out to your favorite realtor.